Hello, everyone. I'm Major Garrett in Washington. Welcome back to our special coverage of President Trump's joint address to Congress. In a surprise to no one, President Trump said on social media he promises to, quote, tell it like it is this evening in what will be his first address to both chambers of Congress since returning to the presidency. These speeches tend to have a theme, and tonight's is no different. The White House says the theme tonight is, quote, the renewal of the American dream. Ahead of the speech, though, stock market took a dive for the second day in a row because investors yesterday feared and today saw the president's new tariffs imposed on Canada, Mexico, and China. However, after the markets closed today, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said the president could reduce the tariffs imposed on Canada and Mexico by some amount as early as tomorrow. Unclear by how much and if that will actually happen, but it was promised, or at least hinted at, by the Commerce Secretary. Meanwhile, in Europe, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he wants to end the war with Russia. He did so in a social media post hours after President Trump, at least temporarily, paused the flow of all U.S. military aid to Ukraine. All this and much, much more will come up in the president's speech this evening. To start off our special coverage, I want to begin with CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion, who is on Capitol Hill, and our CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang, who joins us from the North Lawn of the White House. Weijia, catch us up on what Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, said after the markets closed and what context that might add to this incipient trade war.
Well, Major, Lutnick was very clear that the tariffs would not be paused or eliminated, but he did say that they will likely be reduced from that 25% that it is currently as early as tomorrow, and that the president could make that announcement. Now, remember, he just announced this big tariffs package yesterday, so it did not take long for not a reversal, but at least a walk back in response to all the concerns that you have been reporting on all day, not to mention the concerns in the stock market. And so I think, President Trump likes to make a point, and he is able to do that by putting these tariffs on Mexico and Canada, but he is also going to respond if there is going to be an overall impact on the economy, which is important to him because he is trying to keep his promises and bring down prices. And so it shows that they are watching, they are listening, and there is room, Major, for a change.
And Nikole, on Capitol Hill, how much conversation was there today about the pause in aid to Ukraine and this tariff issue?
Yeah, well, I think it is. Both of these issues are areas where we are seeing some daylight among congressional Republicans that while, yes, even as they remain unified and try to solidify behind the president's legislative agenda, they do have some nuanced differences in terms of what they think with respect to this pause. For instance, in terms of Ukraine aid, for instance, you had Majority Leader John Thune earlier saying that he hopes that this is just a temporary pause, whereas Speaker Johnson said that he believes that this is a potential time for a reset, that he thinks that this is an opportunity to kind of course correct following that very tense meeting at the White House. And he explained that he tried to encourage Zelensky to back this minerals deal, which now appears to be back in play. That being said, obviously many congressional Democrats remain concerned, and certainly many hawkish members of both parties remain concerned as they don't want to abandon a key ally in its time of need.
And Weijia, back to you on the North Lawn of the White House. Other international issues certainly to be in this speech tonight. What are you anticipating there?
Yeah, foreign policy is one of the four main themes that the president will talk about. And, officials here say he really wants to make the point that he is a peacemaker, and he wants to be viewed that way, not only here at home, but on the world stage. So he will certainly talk about Ukraine and his efforts to try to broker an end to that war, but he'll also talk about the Middle East and what he envisions for an end to the conflict there. And I think, Major, the overall theme is going to be what we have seen, not only during this administration, but during his first term, which is he will say that America always has to come first, even if that means America alone. And we've already seen some dismantling of relationships with key allies. And for Trump, you know, that's not a big deal to him because he believes that in the end, you know, it's better for the national interest.
Weijia Jiang at the White House, Nikole Killion on Capitol Hill. Thank you both very much.